Devin Haney should not go directly into a fight, a rematch with Ryan Garcia. So says Timothy Bradley. Timothy Bradley does not believe an immediate rematch with Ryan Garcia would benefit a guy like Devin Haney. First, I'm going to start with the quotes, and then I'll give you guys my thoughts. On ProBox TV, Timothy Bradley says, quote, "I don't think Devin Haney should go right into a rematch. I think it's the dumbest thing. He's making another mistake if he jumps right in and don't test himself in a new weight class at 147 or even try to make 140 again. I don't know. I think he's going to move up." So he thinks that Devin Haney needs to move up. He should get a fight in between before he even talks about a rematch with Ryan Garcia, just to see where he is physically. I don't think we'll ever see either of these guys near 140 pounds again. Haney had a lot of trouble making 140 for that fight with Ryan Garcia. He was really drained making that 140 limit. That's what Chris Algieri had to say. They go on ProBox TV to say Ryan Garcia looks like he's going to be campaigning at 168 with the way he walks around recently. There's no way he ever comes in under 147 ever again. If there's a guy to fight, I think 147 that makes sense. Ryan can roll out of bed, throw the left hook, and knock out a horse. He doesn't need a tune-up. He can come off a 2-year ban or whatever and roll right into a big fight because he's a talented guy. He's got that. Once again, I continue to show my greatness in the world of boxing. What do I mean? Now, if you notice, I'm usually one of the first people to make videos about whatever subject matter. So I don't have the luxury of waiting to see what other people say. And if you knew me personally, you'll know I also don't care to wait. I don't care what people are saying. I'm saying what I'm saying. If you want someone else's opinion, go that away. Scram. Go to their channel. I'm telling you what I see in boxing. Therefore, the game don't wait. I don't wait to see what people said. There's a lot of weak men, and that's, to me, a trait of weak men. And you got a lot of that in boxing, where people need validation. They need other people to agree with them. They need to hear what other people or what a pro fighter had to say before they make a video and before they're confident. They need to read the comment section to see what the fans are saying, and then they just copy and mirror the sentiments of what the audience is saying. I never do that. I don't even read comments half the time, right? So there's a difference. You're dealing with something different. So when you come to my channel, you get quality and you get originality. I'm uniquely me, and everybody knows that, right? So a lot of what I say, you start to hear other people say exactly what happens, such is the case right now. Tim Bradley is telling you everything I said from day one, April 20th, immediately after the fight. One, I said the road back for Devin Haney is going to be tough. Two, I told you the downside is that neither guy looks to be at a position, like when you're looking at their walk around weight, what's transpired. They both have, made some kind of public appearances, or photos or videos of them have surfaced. Neither guy looks like they can make 140, or it's going to be at the bare bones minimum a big struggle. Devin weighed in naked. He did make weight. Ryan didn't even make weight by almost 4 pounds. So Ryan's out of here. He already told you right after the Devin Haney fight, before it was known that he had tested positive for Ostarine, that he's never fighting at 140. He can only make 145 or above. Even 145, if you look at Ryan Garcia recently, sounds like a stretch. Same thing with Devin Haney. Devin looks like he's getting into some shape right now, but when he was at Crawford Madrimov, he looked big. When he did the interview with Andre Ward, he looked big. Andre Ward is a guy, I don't even know how much Ward weighs right now, but he campaigned at 168, maybe around 170 in the Olympic, thing like that. And Devin didn't look dwarfed by Andre Ward. We're entering a new generation of boxer, I'm telling you, because the way I can tell right off the bat, Ego Weight Watchers, aka ILL, is you'll get guys from two completely different weight classes. And back in the day, if you did this in the 80s, early 90s, you would see if a heavyweight stood next to a muff that was a welterweight, there would be a pronounced difference. Now I'm looking at picture like Naoya Inoue just did, he was in Japan, he's Japanese, and Canelo was in Japan for one of his fighters, right? And Naoya Inoue took a picture next to Canelo, and he don't look that small next to Canelo, who fights at 168, right? You look at Ryan Garcia, and then he'll be next to somebody who fights at 161. He'll be next to Errol Spence or something back in the day when they both were with Derrick James, and he don't look that small next to Errol Spence. It's a different game. You're looking at Teofimo and Crawford, has the little exchange. Teofimo don't look that small, as small as you would think a guy coming from 35, 40, would look next to a guy who just fought at 54 in Terrence Crawford. So we're entering a different game. So the downside for Devin is if the first fight played out how it did at 140, Ryan missed weight, but you accepted that and took his money. Now it looks like neither one of you might be able to make the 140 again. And Ryan is going to feel he's the A side. So the fight would probably have to take place at 147 or better, or at least a catch weight, right? And to be honest, based on styles make fights, how the first fight looked, you never really hurt Ryan. He hurt you multiple times. So the higher the weight, the more it favors Ryan Garcia, in my opinion. So I think this is catastrophic. And I agree, because I said it even before Timothy Bradley, that a rematch, Devin should stay far away from an immediate rematch. I'm not saying this as a fan. He can do whatever he wants. Fight him right away, straight away if you want. But given how that first fight looked, I told you from the jump, day of the fight, he should take a year off and come back slow, period. A lot of y'all said, oh, but Ryan cheated. Oh, Osterine, it doesn't matter because Ryan's a cheater. Devin's still going to be the same and he's going to come back confident. All right, we'll see. We'll see who he picks next. If it's a tune-up, we'll know it's a tune-up by the name of the opponent. If he fights someone tough, then get your popcorn, because I think that could be, if he fights any level of danger, then that's going to be must-see TV, because I'm not convinced until I see him clear a few fights, not just one fight, but a few fights. If he fights dangerous people, because you got beat down for real in the Haney Garcia fight. So until I see you look and put up performances against Regis Prograis caliber people or better and look like you did versus Regis Prograis, then everything else remains to be seen. But I do agree here that Devin should not take a rematch. And that's the downside, because I feel like the Haneys, instead of just keeping it real, they're trying to put out this notion like, Ryan, do a 48-hour VADA test sign up or we'll not do a rematch. So they're now trying to pin the tail on the donkey and do the old switcheroo to make it look like Ryan don't want a rematch with them, which sounds utterly ridiculous. Why would he fear a rematch given how the first fight looked? You know what I mean? And you knew he wasn't going to listen to you and sign up for VADA while he's suspended, because it really doesn't matter in terms of if he passed all the tests, he's paying with his own money, and he passed all the tests for what? He still can't fight, which I've already made videos about that, so I'll spare you guys. Check that on the channel. Why would you spend your own money and then inconvenience your schedule? Like, if they show up at 5 in the morning, you got to give vials of blood and urine or whatever they're asking for, and you have to wake up and all that stuff. So it's not like, yes, we want a clean sport and stuff like that, but to do that, it does require inconvenience. If you're on a date with your girl and they show up at the movie theater, because you got to let them know where you're going to be and all that type of stuff, and they show up at the movie theater, then you have to submit because it's random, right? And then you do all that, you're paying out of your own money, you've already been dealt with by the commission, and even if you pass, Ryan still can't fight until 2025. So what would be the point of that? So again, I think the Haneys are intelligent enough to know that Ryan wasn't going to listen to the group that is suing them and, you know, partake in a demand or a command from Bill Haney. And once again, Ego Stradamus strikes again. I was right. Ryan didn't listen in the 48 hours. And then Bill Haney said, oh, see, he doesn't want the fight. We're moving on to something bigger, whatever. You guys can believe it if you want. It is what it is. But let me know what you guys think. Would it be bad if Devin came back to a tough fight, particularly a Ryan Garcia rematch? Let me know.